Up here you have the knob we're going to turn on, and you see the Altec Lansing information. And I see it says iPod dock. That's the mode we're in, so we're going to go ahead and put the iPod in and go ahead and dock it. And this is another thing I like about that. Watch how it says iPod video, and then it will change to what it's called. And in this case I've named it Gold Nickel Ally, which is a white gold. If you're like me and you own pretty much every iPod Apple ever released, and you kind of forget, what do I have? Do I have a 3G, a 4G, 5G Apple, iPod? I don't know. Well, the Altec Lansing will now tell you what you have, and when you stick it in, it will tell you, hey, you get an iPod video, dude, or an iPod, whatever it may be, classic, or so forth, which is really great. So what we're going to do is go ahead and push play, and you'll notice up on the screen the song title is displayed. A little difficult in the scroll for you to read, but it is Sunday, Bloody Sunday. And after that it will show you the band's name, U2, which is nice and small, so you don't need it to scroll. And after the band it will also tell you the name of the album and from which it comes. As I move the volume, you'll notice here the number as well as a bar chart graphic. And I really wish the sound could come through on this, because the clarity of those two horns is amazing. The mids really do fill up the room with the sound, and the bass really does thump, and it is quite amazing how good it sounds. Now, we talked a little about the remote, so now I'm going to bring the remote out and show you. Here you see the remote has your common items of use. You got your power, your source, your volume up and down, your next and previous track, your EQ, your play and pause, and then your 4 presets. And then something else I thought was really cool that Altec put in here is a little clip. You push that in, and then you just kind of hook this on to a belt clip, a purse, or anything else that you want to attach this to keep it locally to your body, making it really nice and convenient instead of just kind of losing it with like so many people do with remotes. And that's a nice feature to have. Quickly going through here, you'll see going through, it's easy to change with the remote. We can turn up the remote, no problem. Again, just the dramatic sound is amazing here. Really wish you could hear the sound. It is infrared. You'll see the little firing of the light into the camera as I do that. Therefore, you do need a direct line of sight. However, the remote is a really good remote, and it does a fine job of bouncing. So as you saw, when I pointed at the camera, it actually bounced right back to the infrared receiver on the unit and was able to acknowledge my request. On the EQ presets that we talked about, just to go into the regular, you just push the EQ, it gets bass and treble. However, if you want to get into the EQ presets, you hold down the EQ and it gets into the preset, and then you can go into rock, hip hop, and pop, and then just back into the regular EQ that Altec has. Now, if you want to go into the 7-band, you hold the EQ as well as the left right buttons at the same time, and now you can dramatically change the sound specifically to your liking. Over here it'll tell you your position as 0 or positive or negative in the scale, and pushing left or right you can see that we move across the band. And to get back into regular EQ, again, just push the EQ band and you get back out there. To get right into regular EQ, again, just hit the EQ and the left right buttons to get back where you need to get, and you will get into the regular EQ sound. Source, hitting the source button on the top puts you into the digital FM tuner. You'll notice the signal indicator, the stereo or mono sound, preset number. If the station supports RDS, or you have a strong signal, then it will display the call letters, the genre. A lot of the times it will display information that the station will push through. Trying to find a station here that will give us that information. Unfortunately, either we have too low of signal strength, or they're just not pushing it through at this time. RDS is a older technology that came out of Europe that actually embeds data into the radio signal. It is not a digital thing like HD radio. So that is why it's an inconsistent technology right now, because it is going through the radio analog signal. But when it does work, it is kind of nice. It will say right here, country, and then the call letters under it. So when it's working, it is quite nice. You also have your auxiliary inputs for auxiliary 1 and auxiliary 2 as we went through, and then your iPod. We're going to go ahead and take the iPod off, and going to go ahead and put the iPhone on. And once the iPhone is on, you can see the iPhone is there. We'll go ahead and get into our music selection. Again, notice it says 3GT. That is the name of my iPhone. And then in a second, I'll flip back and tell you that it is what model iPhone it is. And there it is, iPhone 3GS, with even the original soaker on the S that Apple had done. And then the information that you get, just like with the iPod, will scroll under that display. Again, the remote control, up and down, forward, pause, and so forth. You can also do your EQ here as well. You can adjust your bass, you can adjust your treble. If you go into the EQ and you hold the EQ button, just like on the top of the unit, then you can go into the EQ presets. There you go. And then you can just again use your left and right to use which preset you want to use. And that is how you use the remote control for the most part. And it plays. And we'll go ahead and put the remote back in its little dock. The universal dock is a universal dock, as you saw. It does not require the adapters, which I do not have. This is the adapter for the iPhone. I've found it easier not to use the adapters and to put the units in. Apple does this, if you've noticed, at the Apple stores with their own. They have a universal dock connectors, and that they too don't have the adapters anywhere. They just kind of throw them onto the connector itself, and that's what I do myself. It would be nice to see Altec have a storage compartment for this, as well as the two cables that plug into those auxiliary inputs. Right now I just put it up there since I don't have auxiliary inputs when I do use the iPhone connector, but it would be nice to see some kind of storage compartment for both the wires and the maybe an adapter or two, since they've been able to put a storage unit for this handy dandy item. They should be able to do one for those as well. The only other complaints that I can find is, you might notice here that it is black, and I'll come in closer. It gets dusty very quickly, just like a black car does. That is one of the disadvantages of having black, and that may be why all the yesteryear boom boxes were silver. Other than that, I really can't find too much fault in this unit. It is an incredible sounding system. I can't believe how rich and how much bass comes out of it, and how well the highs sound. It is just really incredible. I think Altec Lansing has hit a home run with this for portable units for your iPod or iPhone, and at the same time not ignoring the rest of the market, small as it may be, but still not ignoring the fact that there are people who do not buy iPods or iPhones, or may have other devices that they would like to plug in, and giving them that option. I think that's a great option to have. This would make a perfect thing to bring to the beach, to a camping trip, or even put into your bedroom and have a little boombox in your bedroom. Or if you're a college student in a dorm, again, another great place to find a home for the Altec Lansing Mix iMT800. So I encourage you to read the rest of the review at svenontech.com. Hit the reviews tab to check out the review for this and other units. My name is Sven Rafferty for Sven on Tech. I thank you for watching the video review of the Altec Lansing Mix iMT800.